So we saw Zelenskyy campaigning for Kamala Harris, the unelected president, I guess that'd be dictator of Ukraine, campaigning for Kamala Harris in Pennsylvania a couple of weeks ago. You've reported on this more than anybody. Why?
Well, I mean, that's the central question and the kind of mystery about Joe Biden. And it's the key to figuring out how he got to be president. This very unprepossessing, not very intelligent man was sort of captured, I think, in his very earliest days in the Senate. He came to the Senate as a green 30-year-old kind of part-time grifter from Delaware. And he was immediately embraced by the sort of elder statesmen who are controlled the foreign policy establishment, basically, in the Senate, and was elevated to the most powerful committee in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, which he ended up being chairman or ranking member for over a decade. He had access to the CIA. CIA had access to him, and he was very early on captivated by the Chinese. He traveled as a young senator to the Chinese equivalent of Martha's Vineyard and met all the top CCP people. Joe Biden was the sort of tool of the blob, or the people who are in control from the CIA, the State Department, and they wanted a sort of puppet president, as they have pretty much always had. And the same people who covered up for Joe Biden and his corruption, allowed it, greenlit it, are the same people that are propping up Kamala Harris and who regard Donald Trump as an existential threat, but not to America or democracy, like we're told, but to them and their power.
It's just, it's amazing to me as an American. If you told me 10 years ago that I'd be sitting, talking to a reporter on camera about how the CIA controls who the president is and then uses the presidents as puppets, I would have thought that sounds a little far out, but it's clearly true.
Yeah, I don't know just the CIA. I mean, I think it's what Obama people called the blob, what Mike Benz talks about.
For sure.
It's the Pentagon, State Department, CIA. And in the cover-up of Joe Biden's corruption and the Hunter Biden investigation, also the Department of Justice and the IRS were involved. And so it's the classic, what Trump called the deep state. They couldn't control him. He's always been an uncontrollable person. And that's, I guess, his gift, what made him so good as president, and it is allowing him now to do so well. But it also makes him an existential threat to the blob, to the deep state.